Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are some of the hardest Pokemon games out there, so today I'm going to attempt to beat Pokemon Brilliant Diamond without fainting. The rules I'm going to be using this run are going to be displayed on screen right now if you need to read them, and with that being said, I have a lot of dreadful battles I'm going to have to go through in this run. Specifically, my battles against pretty much every single gym leader and every single Elite Four member are going to be extremely difficult. One more thing before I get into the game, I just want to say that only 3.4% of my viewers are actually subscribed, so if you could double check that you're subscribed, it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, and let's get into the video. First things first, I name myself Zango, and I get ready to get my first Pokemon. After talking to my mom and realizing that Barry has no concept of social distancing, I end up getting my starter Chimchar. After slipping on my running shoes, I walk onto the first route and I realize my Chimchar has a naive nature. This nature is kinda trash. Sure, the increased speed is nice, but with my special defense lowered, I'll basically get one-shotted by every psychic move. Either way, once I figure that out, I find the professor and name Chimchar Phoenix. My mom then gives me the all-powerful Hat of Wisdom, and with this wisdom bestowed upon me, I make my way to Jubilife City. While heading to Jubilife, I witness Dawn catch this poor Bidoof, and after she does, I decide to catch a Pokemon of my own. I catch a Shanks with a bold nature, which is attack down and defense up, so actually not that horrible, and I name her Zeus. With that all out of the way, I find myself in Jubilife City where I talk to Barry and I get my Pokewatch. To be honest with you, I'm a little bit offended just because it's got a step counter and I'm wondering if he's telling me to lose some weight. Either way, after I've been personally attacked, I'm ready to catch another Pokemon. I move on to the next route and I catch myself a Bidoof. I name Bidoof Dionysus and I find out it's got a neutral nature, which is just neutral. With that, I face Barry in a battle, beat him, and make my way into Orberg City. Once I'm here, I witness the gym leader absolutely shatter his fist, and once he does that, I get ready to challenge him in my first gym battle. He leads with Geodude as I lead with Phoenix. Right away, I go for a power-up punch doing half the Geodude as he hits me with a Stealth Rock. On the next turn, I go for another power-up punch finishing off Geodude as Onix comes in next, and immediately I go for a power-up punch bringing him down to 1 HP. He goes for a Rock Throw that does 7 damage, and he heals in the next turn with a potion as I finish him off with another power-up punch. Granitos comes out last, and one final power-up punch is able to do the trick, and that wins me my first gym badge. As I'm heading to Floroma Town, I encounter some Team Galactic grunts, and them and their bowl cuts have nothing on my team. After destroying them and making my way into Floroma Town, I've then got to deal with a ton more Team Plasma grunts. Once they're all dealt with, I fight Commander Mars and her Perugly, and it's not really that big of an issue. Power-up Punch is swiftly able to defeat Mars, and after that, I gotta talk to this stinky scientist, and he sends me off to Eterna Forest. While I'm here, I figure out Cheryl's completely useless, so I go past her and into Eterna City. There's literally nothing I need to do here other than challenge Gardenia, so I lead the battle with Phoenix as she leads with Cherubi. I'm a fire type and Gardenia has all grass types, so I'm able to sweep both her Turtwig and her Cherubi without taking any damage just with a single Flame Wheel. Her last Pokemon Roserade ends up being a little bit more of an issue than she has to be, but it doesn't really matter as I take her out with just 2 Flame Wheels as that wins me my second badge. After Gardenia, I meet my biggest rival of the run, Cynthia. Next up is Commander Jupiter and her Skuntank, and with Power-Up Punch, this battle really isn't that much of an issue, and finally, once I'm finished up with that, I make my way to Mount Coronet. Here, I meet the itty-bitty little Cyrus, and after I do that, I make my way into Hearthome. In Hearthome City, there's just a lot of stories, so since I'm sure you guys don't really want me to cover it, I just go on to the next town. While I'm here, I think about catching a Ghastly, but in the end, I decide not to, as now I make my way into Veilstone City, and once I'm here, I get ready to challenge the 3rd gym. Meditite comes out first, so I lead with Phoenix. Right away, I set up 2 Sword Stances, as Meditite sets up 2 Bulk Ups. I then go for a Flamethrower, and with the same type attack bonus, I'm able to one-shot Meditite. Next out is Machoke, so I go for another Flamethrower as he goes for a Rock Tomb. With a 3rd Flamethrower, I'm able to take out the rest of Machoke's health, and that leads to Maylene's final Pokemon, Lucario. Because I set up 2 Sword Stances earlier in the battle, I'm able to one-shot Lucario with a single Mach Punch, winning me my 3rd gym badge. With the 3rd gym badge acquired, I'm able to make my way to the 4th pretty much immediately. Vestoria City is basically right next to Veilstone, so right when I get there, I'm basically able to challenge the gym. While battling the gym trainers, my Luxio evolves into a Lux Ray and my Bidoof evolves into Roselia. With my team up to the level cap, I challenge Crasher Wake and he leads the battle with Gyarados as I lead with Lux Ray. Lux Ray has Thunderbolt and that's 4 times super effective against Gyarados, so I go for it and it's an easy one-shot. Before Gyarados went down, he hit me for a little bit of damage, but like I said, it was only a little bit of damage, so it doesn't really matter, as next out comes Quagsire. Quagsire has Mud Shot, so I decided to make a switch into Dionysus. Dionysus has Giga Drain, so I'm able to one-shot Quagsire, and with that, Crash Awake sends out his final Pokemon, Floatzel. Once he sends out Floatzel, since I know he's probably going to go for an Ice Fang, I decide to switch into Phoenix. As I expected, Phoenix gets hit by an Ice Fang, so I determine that he's going to go for a Water move next, so I move back into Zeus. Zeus tanks it, and on the next turn, I end up having to tank another move, this time being Ice Fang, but since it doesn't do that much damage, I'm able to one-shot with a Thunderbolt, as that wins me my battle against Crash Awake. After the gym, I've got to chase down this Team Galactic member forever, and while I'm doing it, I end up battling Barry. These rival battles really aren't difficult, especially since he still has a Starly at this level. Once I thoroughly destroy his team, I finish off the rest of Team Galactic, and Cynthia gives me the secret medicine so I can get past these Psyducks on Route 210. I go through Route 10 to Celestial Town, and once I end up here, I talk to Team Galactic members, fight them, beat them, and talk to Cyrus. It's honestly more cute than menacing watching him try and talk about destroying the world, but either way, once I'm finished up with him, I make my way back to Hearthome, and I finally get to challenge Fantina for my 5th badge. She leads with Driftbloom as I lead with Zeus. Driftbloom can hardly do any damage to Zeus anyways, so I just decide to set up 5 consecutive charges. After my 5th charge, I go for a Thunderbolt, and I'm easily able to one-shot Driftbloom. When Gengar comes out, I immediately get hit by a Confuse Ray, so I set up with another charge. Because Charge makes electric type moves do more damage, I'm easily able to one-shot Gengar with a single Thunderbolt. With that, Fantina sends out her final Pokemon, Miss Magius. Right away, I get hit by another Confuse Ray as I go for a Thunderbolt. Because I assume Miss Magius is going to set up with another Phantom Force, I decide to set up a 7th charge, and thankfully I don't hit myself with Confusion, and Miss Magius does end up going for Phantom Force. Phantom Force brings me down to 23 HP, and thankfully I don't hit myself with Confusion, finishing off Miss Magius and winning me my 5th gym badge. After the 5th gym, I get to meet up with Cynthia again, and damn is her model good. I then head to Conolave City, and once I get here, I immediately have a rival battle. Barry's actually a lot more difficult in this fight than most, just because I have to keep switching in and out to avoid super effective moves, but overall, he's still the same old Barry, and after I beat him, I get ready to challenge the next gym. Getting ready for the next gym implies that I gotta go to Iron Island, go through all of the trainers there, and get myself a Shiny Stone. This Shiny Stone allows me to evolve Dionysus into a Roserade. This will make this next gym battle with Byron a whole lot easier, as now my grass type moves will be a lot more effective. This means that my team is fully evolved as I go into my fight with Byron. He leads the battle with Bronzor as I lead with Dionysus. Right away, I look to set up a Stun Spore as he sets up with a Trick Room. With Trick Room set up, he's faster, and he sets up with a Sandstorm as I go for a Growth. He then goes for a Confuse Ray as I don't get hit by Confusion, and I set up a second Growth. He then goes for his first attacking move, going for a Flash Cannon, getting a critical hit, and I end up hitting myself in Confusion. At this point, I'm not really set up very well, so I've kinda just gotta go for a Giga Drain just to regain a little bit of HP. Giga Drain thankfully crits, bringing me back up to 79 HP, and Bronzor then heals with a full restore as I go for another Giga Drain, doing almost half. At this point, the dimensions are back to normal, so I'm able to go for another Giga Drain, and thankfully I outspeed and finish off Bronzor. Next out is Steelix, and I bring him down to 1 HP with a Giga Drain, but thankfully he decides not to attack me, going for a Sandstorm. Byron then heals on the next turn, so I'm able to finish off Steelix with just 2 more Giga Drains. This means that Byron's down to his ace Pokemon, Bastiodon. With only 3 Giga Drain PP left, I decide to go for 1 as I bring Bastiodon to almost half as I get hit for some massive damage with Stone Edge. I then decide to go for a second Giga Drain, bringing Bastiodon down to 1 HP as he heals up a little bit with a Citrus Berry and misses a Stone Edge. Thankfully, with my final Giga Drain, I'm able to take out Bastiodon and win against Byron. Right after the gym, I'm alerted that Lake Valor has basically exploded due to Team Galactic, so I fly over there, stop them very swiftly, and I have to head back to Lake Verity. While I'm here, I find out Dawn's been basically held hostage by Commander Mars. This means I gotta battle her, and this battle actually gets a little bit close. Even though I healed before going into the fight, it still proved pretty challenging as I actually got brought really low on 2 different Pokemon. If I don't get some new Pokemon soon, my team's days are going to be numbered because I'm starting to get to a point where 3 Pokemon just can't deal with the rest of this game. With all the Team Galactic stuff done for now, I've got to make my way to Snow Point City. While on my way to Snow Point City, I've been looking up a couple of videos just to see if I can get a Feebas. I find a video in which I can correlate my lottery numbers for that day with the Feebas location. This means that all I have to do is get my lottery numbers from Jubilife City, and once I do, I just move on to my Feebas spot. I quickly find out that this system isn't really 100% accurate, as I don't really find Feebas on every single tile I'm looking for it on, but that doesn't really matter, as after about 100 attempts, I find myself a Feebas. The Feebas I end up catching has a horrible nature, so I decide to catch a new one, and after I do, I name it Siren. Siren doesn't actually have a good nature either. It's up special defense and down defense, which like I said really isn't amazing, but it took me a half hour just to catch this Pokemon, and at that point it was 11:40, so I would have to reset my encounters, and I did not want to do that. Either way, after that, I've got to go through the effort of getting all of my Poffin Puffs, feeding it to Feebas, getting its beauty maxed out, and evolving it into my Lodic. Finally, after all that painstaking effort, I get ready to challenge the 7th gym of this run. Candace leads the battle with Snover as I lead with Phoenix. Phoenix is faster than Snover, and Snover is 4 times weak to Flamethrower, so I'm easily able to one-shot. Next out is Sneasel, and since she's definitely not faster than me, I'm able to one-shot with a single Mach Punch. After Sneasel comes Medicham, so I go for a Flamethrower, doing a ton of damage and burning. Medicham goes for her Bulk Up, but it really doesn't matter as Candace healed in the next turn, and I'm able to finish off Medicham with 2 more Flamethrowers. With that, Candace sends out her final Pokemon, Abomasnow, and it's an easy one-shot with a Flamethrower, winning me my 7th gym badge. After the gym, I've got to go through a lot of Team Galactic's story. First things first, I've got to head to Veilstone City, and I've got to take down Team Galactic's lair. This part really isn't actually challenging, it's more tedious than anything, and finally when I get up to Cyrus, I'm able to defeat his under-leveled team, and I'm able to free the 3 spirits. After they're taken down, I move on to Mount Coronet where I decide I need to catch another Pokemon. This Pokemon is found in the Riverbend Cave in the Grand Underground, and after I juke the socks off this Pelipper, I find myself a Gible. This Gible I catch and name Wyvern, and I find out it has a brave nature which brings up my attack, but it does lower my speed, so that's going to be a little bit bad for some future battles. Either way, I evolve my Gible into Gabite, and I get ready to challenge Commander Mars and Jupiter. This battle ends up going like how most of them do, and I end up beating them both simultaneously. With Commander Mars and Jupiter defeated, I go through one of the coolest cutscenes in all of Pokemon, and I then battle Cyrus. Cyrus leads the battle with Honchkrow as I lead with Siren. Right away, I set up a Rain Dance as I get hit with a Defog. I then go for an Ice Beam, bringing Honchkrow down to about a third as I get hit with another Defog. One more Ice Beam does the trick as next out comes Gyarados. I figured Ice Beam would do a lot more damage on Gyarados, but it actually doesn't do that much as he hits me for some big damage. Since Ice Beam was so weak, I decided to try and go for a Surf, but it does little to no damage at all. I then get hit with an Earthquake, so on the next turn I'm forced to go for a Recover. At this point, Gyarados is just spamming Earthquake, and Recover is healing up all of the damage I take from it. I decide to go for 8 consecutive Recovers as he uses all of his Earthquake PP, and when he does, I decide to make a switch into Zeus and one-shot with a Thunderbolt. With that, next out comes Weavile, so right away I try and hit it with a Thunderbolt. It ends up using Dig, so I make a switch. I move into Dionysus, who gets hit extremely hard by the dig, bringing me down to 76 HP. Before I fully registered what I was doing, I decided to go for a Stun Spore. I then get hit by an Aerial Ace, and it brings me down to 1 HP, and I only survive due to Friendship. I make a switch into Zeus and then Phoenix, and when I switch into Phoenix, I go for a Mach Punch. It brings Weavile down to 1 HP, and he decides to go for a Dig. I have no idea how I outspeed Weavile here, but when I go for a U-turn, I miss because I'm faster. This means that I get hit by the Dig. It doesn't do too much damage, but Cyrus heals in the next turn. I U-turn switch into Wyvern, and after a ton of different moves, I finally finish off Weavile with a Dragon Claw. With Weavile down, Cyrus sends out his final Pokemon, Crobat. Right away, I elect to stay in as I get brought down to 35 HP, and I do a lot of damage to Crobat with a Dragon Claw. With Crobat down a third and me down a lot more, I decide to make a switch into Zeus. Zeus tanks the Air Cutter on the switch in, and on the next turn, I'm forced to tank a Cross Poison. Thankfully, I do, as I'm then able to finish off Crobat with a single Thunderbolt, winning me my battle against Cyrus. I'm not gonna lie to you, that was probably one of the sloppiest battles I've ever played in Pokemon. To be honest with you guys, that battle should have been really easy, and I actually should have lost the battle, only winning it due to Friendship. Like I said, very sloppy gameplay on my part, and I'll try and make it better in the future of this run, or else I'm definitely gonna lose this thing. Either way, with the world saved, I make my way to Sunyshore City, and I get ready to challenge the final gym. After finding Volkner, I get all the teams I'll need for this battle, and I challenge him for the final gym badge. I don't think I'll have an issue with this battle, to be completely honest with you. I think it's just going to be easy all the way throughout. Easy all the way throughout. No big deal. I think I got this. He leads the battle with Raichu as I lead with Wyvern. Immediately, Raichu crits me with a Surf, bringing me down to 115, and I end up going for a Sword Stance. I then get hit by a Surf, bringing me down pretty low. I regain a little bit of health due to my Citrus Berry, and I finish off Raichu with a one-shot. Next out is Octillery, who gets one-shotted by an Earthquake, and with that, Ambipom comes out next. Immediately, Ambipom goes for a Fake Out in the first turn, flinching me in the process, and on the next turn, Ambipom misses a double hit, so I'm able to finish it off with a single Earthquake. With that comes Volkner's final Pokemon, Lux Ray. Lux Ray has a base speed of 70, but with a jelly nature, that'll go up quite a bit. Garchomp's base speed is 102, so you'd think I'd easily outspeed. Holy sh... oh my god. Why was he has a jolly nature. Dude, I didn't account for that. That would have been absolutely horrible. Oh my god, the run could have just ended. Oh my god. This was absolutely shocking to me, as I did all the calculations and it showed that I would go first every single time. Either way, Luxray goes for an Ice Fang, and it actually misses. The 5% chance it has to miss actually happened, so I'm easily able to finish it off with an Earthquake, and thankfully, that wins me my final gym badge. Right after the gym, I go back to the Grand Underground where I catch my final Pokemon, Sneasel. I name Sneasel Yeti and find out it's got a neutral nature, which isn't terrible. I then bring most of my Pokemon up to the level cap, and I make my way into Victory Road. I storm through this place with no issues, and eventually I find myself in the Pokemon League. Once I'm here, I challenge Barry in our final rival battle. When you compare both of our teams, you'll quickly find out that my team is way higher level than his. This makes a very uneven matchup in which I sweep his team every single time. When I finish off his final Pokemon Heracross, that wins me my battle against Barry, and with that, I get ready for the Elite Four of this run. Let's go! I am so hyped. So hyped right now, it is insane. I am so ready to get these battles started. Right away, I'm going to start the battle off against Aaron. I'm going to start it off with my Phoenix. I think that's the best option. I don't think there's a better option than starting out with Phoenix. Phoenix just pretty much sweeps the entire team. If I set up enough workups at the beginning of the battle, I can just one-shot Drapion in the end, so it really won't matter. He leads the battle with Dusknox as I lead with Phoenix. On the first turn, I go for a workup as Dusknox goes for a Light Screen. On the next turn, I set up another workup as Dusknox hits me with a Toxic, and I eat my Pecha Berry. At this point, knowing I don't want to get poisoned again, I decide to go for an Acrobatics, one-shotting Dusknox. With him down, Heracross comes in next, and a 4-time super effective Acrobatics is easily able to take him out. Beautifly is then sent in, and I'm a little bit worried just because of Psychic, but thankfully I'm faster, and I'm actually able to one-shot. Aaron sends out his 4th Pokemon Vespiquen, and since Light Screen just went away, I decide to go for a Flamethrower, and it easily one-shots Vespiquen. This leads into Aaron's final Pokemon, Drapion. A single close combat is able to take him out, and that wins me my first Elite Four battle. Next up is Bertha, so I lead the battle with Dionysus as she leads with Quagsire. Quagsire can't do much damage, so immediately I go for a Growth as I get hit with an Earthquake. It only does about half, so in the next turn I go for a Giga Drain, finishing off Quagsire as next out comes Wishcash. I think I still one-shot with the Rhino Berry active. Even with the Rhino Berry, I'm still easily able to one-shot Wishcash with just a single Giga Drain. This means that Swoodoodle is coming out next, and it's another one-shot with Giga Drain. The first problem pops up in the next Pokemon, Golem. She has Sturdy, so I'm gonna have to stick in and hope that Earthquake doesn't kill me. There's the Sturdy, I know it. I end up getting hit with an Earthquake, doing a ton of damage, almost one-shotting Roserade. Thankfully, it does not though, as I'm able to take out Golem on the next turn with another Giga Drain, as that leads into Bertha's final Pokemon, Hippowdon. When Hippowdon comes out, I'm not 100% sure I can one-shot with a Giga Drain, so I decide to switch into Siren. Siren avoids an Ice Fang on the switch in, and on the next turn, I go for a Surf, bringing Hippowdon down to about a 4. Hippowdon then hits me way harder than I expected with an Earthquake, but it doesn't really matter as on the next turn she heals, and I get a critical hit Surf, winning me my battle against Bertha. Flint is next, and he leads the battle with Rapidash as I lead with Wyvern. Right away, I get hit with a Hypnosis, and I end up waking up immediately due to my Chesto Berry. After this, I set up a Sword Stance, and on the next turn, I end up avoiding Hypnosis and finishing off Rapidash with an Earthquake. Lopunny is then sent in, and he immediately goes for a high jump kick that doesn't do too much damage, so I'm easily able to one-shot with a single Dragon Claw. With that, Steelix is sent in, and I'm able to one-shot with a single Earthquake as this Steelix doesn't have Sturdy. Drifloon is then sent in next, and for whatever reason, he's actually faster than me. He goes for a Will-O-Wisp, and since this lowers my attack a lot, I'm not able to one-shot with Crunch. I do end up bringing Drifloon pretty low, but I don't really want to stay in with Garchomp because if I do, I'm not going to be able to one-shot Infernape. Oh my god, he's just going to spam Minimize, dude. Once I switch into my next Pokemon Siren, Drifloon goes for a Minimize. I then try and go for an Ice Beam. Please hit me. Oh no, dude. Oh no. But when I do, Drifloon switches out with a Baton Pass into Infernape. And Frozen, let's go! Infernape doesn't thaw out in one turn, so I'm able to finish it off with a Surf. Flint sends out his final Pokemon Drifloon again, and since I want my ability Marble Scale, I try and stay in the battle as long as possible so I can get burned. As long as I get burned right here, I'm happy. I don't care about anything else. Just burn me. Drifloon can set up as many Minimizes as she wants. It doesn't affect me at all. I want to be burned. If I get burned, it activates my ability Marble Scale, and that'll help me out so much in the rest of this part. So much. I have 30 light screen PP. There's no reason why. No reason. I'm just gonna spam it. There we go. There's the burn. I have everything on my side going into Cynthia. Next up is Lucian, though. Lucian's a little bit different than Cynthia. No, I broke out of it. No. Gosh, dude, I didn't. Oh my gosh, friendship. Listen, you could be good, but you can't be this good. Chill out. Let me get burned. Strength Sap doesn't do anything to me, bro. Just hit me. Please. Just hit me with Will-O-Wisp. That's fine. I just want to get hit. As long as I get hit, I'm good. It doesn't matter. I honestly think even if I didn't get that burn, or if I didn't get that freeze, I would have won. Purely because oh my gosh, dude. Stop it. Stop. You're not showing off to anybody, my Lodic. You're really not. You're just making this battle a lot harder on my poor editor. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Thank you. Just don't break out of it now. That's all I ask. Don't break out of it. Oh my gosh, dude. Do I break out of it every time? Is that like a thing? I don't think that's a thing. I didn't think I could break out of it every single time. If I break out of it one more time, I'm just gonna kill. But there we go. Finally, dude. I knew it wasn't an every single time thing. I knew it. Eventually, after finally getting hit with the burn, I end up finishing off Drifloon and winning me my battle against Flint. With the previous 3 Elite Four members down, I have to challenge Lucian in my final Elite Four battle. He leads the battle with Mr. Mime as I lead with Wyvern. On the first turn, I set up with a Sword Stance as for some reason Mr. Mime sets up with Light Screen. He could have very easily gone for a Reflect and forced me to go for another Sword Stance, but since he didn't, I'm able to just go for a single Earthquake, finishing off Mr. Mime in the process. With Mr. Mime down, Medicham is sent in next, and I'm able to go for another Earthquake, finishing him off as well. Alakazam is then sent in and one-shotted by a Crunch. With that, Lucian sends out Giraffig, and he's one-shotted by a Crunch as well. This means that Lucian's down to his final Pokemon, Bronzong. If you thought anything was going to change here, you were completely wrong, as Bronzong is taken out by a single Crunch, and with that, I win. I absolutely sweep. Did I even take damage? I don't even think I took damage. No, I didn't. I didn't take any damage in that fight. I took 0 damage. Here we go. Cynthia time. I'm leading with Garchomp. I don't care. I'm leading with Garchomp. She leads with Spiritomb. I'm going to go for a Crunch right away. Cynthia leads the battle with Spiritomb as I lead with Wyvern. Right away, I go for a Crunch as I get hit for some big damage with a Dark Pulse. At this point, I set up a Sword Stance as I get hit with another Dark Pulse. I finish off Spiritomb with an Earthquake as next out comes my Lode. For this, I switch into Lux Ray and immediately I set up a charge after getting hit with an Ice Beam, not really doing that much damage. On the same turn I set up my charge, I get hit for some pretty big damage with a Scald, and on the next turn I go for a Thunderbolt, one-shotting my Lodic in the process. Next out, Cynthia sends out Gastrodon, so I make my switch into Dionysus, who gets hit for some big damage with an Earthquake on the switch in. On the next turn, I go for a Giga Drain, regaining all of my HP back and one-shotting Gastrodon in the process. Cynthia sends in a Roserade of her own, and immediately she goes for a Sludge Bomb, doing way too much damage. I go for a Dazzling Gleam that only does about a fifth, so immediately I switch out into Phoenix. He gets hit for some massive damage on the switch in, bringing me down to 52 HP, and I end up getting poisoned. Oh! The poison goes away because they're nice. Because of friendship. Friendship. Thankfully, I'm able to shrug off the poison due to my friendship, and I'm able to finish off Roserade with a single flamethrower. Cynthia then sends out Lucario, and for this, I simply go for a single close combat, one-shotting Lucario in the process. Finally, he's Garchomp. Okay, here we go. Here's where the sweats start coming in. Garchomp is an issue. Garchomp is an issue for my entire team, pretty much. I have Siren, though. Siren has the Marvel Scale, and I burned her with the Drifloon. And since I burned her with Drifloon, my ability makes it so that I don't take as much damage with physical attacking moves. So, my plan is, assuming I don't get crit, switch into my Lodic, hopefully don't take half to an Earthquake, or a Jolly Nature makes Garchomp faster. So, I'm not going to outspeed with any of my Pokemon, so I've honestly just got to brute force it. Please don't do half. Okay, it didn't do half, but then again, it does do half. Okay, big decision. I'm going for a recovery. I think I can survive. I've just got a one-shot. I can survive an Earthquake. I just got a one-shot. I just got a one-shot. Please, my Lodic. Please, 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 come on. Come on, please, my Lodic, please. Oh, not even close, dude. Oh! Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I slammed my controller on the floor. Oh my god! I just go for another one, don't I? Because the Shaka Berry, or the Yaki Berry is what... Dude. Oh my god, man. Come on. Oh my god. Dude. Dude, that's incredible, bro. I can't even believe that, man. That's like so impossible that it's just... Dude, I lost to Cynthia again, man. That was supposed to be it, dude. I had it. I had it, too. She thought out in one turn. A single turn, man. A single turn. I thought maybe if I got... It wasn't even... I mean, it was luck. And I just got super unlucky immediately after it. God, dude. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, because that would be greatly appreciated. And with that being said, that was my attempt at a Pokemon Brilliant Diamond no fainting run.